Are you married?
I'm married, yeah.
And is your wife? Is your wife submissive to you?
She is. It's the biblical way. It's a beautiful thing, and she loves it. Do you object to that in principle?
We can change the fate and the outcome of the world.
Equality of what?
Equality of responsibility. Equality of the right to express your opinion. So your wife just does what you tell her.
She can just express her opinion. No, she can express her opinion. But see, I think you're confusing equality with equivalency. Me and my wife are different people. It's like if you're on a football team, if everyone just does whatever they want. It is, yeah, because I'm the head of my household. And that's why we got married, because she loves me and respects me and understands that I want what's best for her. And I'm going to do my best to lead my family in a good way. And I respect her role that she brings.
Give you about 5 more minutes.
I do, actually, yeah.
Again, you are trying to find the person that lives closest
When they're what?
to you.
When they're grown, I would hope they'd get married and have successful families.
Now, you will not be able to do that.
If that's what they want, it's not my place to tell them they can't, but I generally find with the people I've talked to and what I've experienced that there's nothing so fulfilling that you can find in a career as you can find in a family. Family's way better. And if I could quit my job today and go be at home with my family and build us a homestead, I would do it in a heartbeat. Problem is,
if you sign up for the military, they will give you a bonus that will allow you to...
Unfortunately, not even the military bonus does that. If I lived in the economy that your generation grew up in, perhaps on one salary, I could have afforded a homestead. The ironic thing about this lady is that she is at a protest surrounded by people wearing all kinds of ghoulish costumes, weird sexualized get-ups, strange haircuts, neon hair dye, all kinds of strange perversions. There's pride flags everywhere. That just goes without saying at an event like this. It's a very strange group of people. And yet what this lady, who by all accounts just looks like a normal person, she looks like a sweet old grandmother, the thing that she's scandalized by, the thing that she thinks is a little bit untoward and a little odd, is me, dressed like a normal human being who's just expressing to her that, yes, shocker, I have a traditional Christian marriage where my wife submits to me and we obey the biblical ethics that have been used by Christians everywhere for as long as we've been around, and it's worked great. This is what happens, though, when you get your priorities in a knot and you get your worldview crooked. Things start to go sideways. And so it reveals itself in this kind of ironic video as, wow, look at her. She thinks, pride and gay people and weird sexual perversions is normal, and she thinks just a normal Christian marriage is weird. Well, you begin to see why when you learn that later in our conversation, she reveals that she and her friends she's with were abortion clinic escorts in their free time. So they were basically just, volunteering to be murder accomplices for the thrills, which is disgusting. And it's so messed up that someone who looks so sweet and kind and innocent is actually a party to some of the most grievous crimes that have happened in our state, possibly ever. The most innocent, the most worthy of protection, killed in some of the cruelest ways. It's barbaric and unthinkable. And I don't know what else to say about it except that these things run together for a reason. When you get one thing screwed up, like your value for life, everything kind of falls apart after it. And so, yeah, I guess it's ironic that she thinks a traditional marriage is weird. But it gets so much worse than that, because when you screw up your way of seeing the world and your worldview is crooked, everything will fall apart, man, everything. And you become what should justly be considered a war criminal. It's a crime against humanity. It's what abortion is. And so on one hand, I kind of feel for this older lady. I don't want to be too hard on her because, she's just so old and innocent. And yet, when you consider there's murder that's been happening, and this person is just so lost in the darkness of her very godless worldview, you kind of see the evil for what it is, and a lot of that sympathy goes out the window. Part of kind of being a responsible and mature person is being able to balance those. And I'll admit I'm not always the best at it. Sometimes I bounce between two poles of maybe being a little too sympathetic to people who deserve a little bit of outrage, and maybe being a little too outraged at people who deserve mercy. And it's a challenge sometimes to know which one to give. For what it's worth, I was polite in the conversation, but I guess I'm making up for it now because it's really disgusting the more you think about it.